think getting product decisions right the first time saves everybody a lot of money. So that's awesome.
Yeah, wonderful. Hey, can I start?
You may start right now. Oh, wait, give me 1 minute. I'm going to admit all. A couple people trying to join.
Sure.
And we're 4 minutes ahead of schedule, so you've got a little extra time. I think everybody's in.
Just let me know when I want to.
Yeah, I admitted a few more people, so I think we have everyone.
They keep joining, so we're at 14. Okay. All right, I think I would start.
Oh, okay, so good morning, everybody, and I'm happy to be here in your summit and hope to give you some great insights on how you can do your product decisions right the first time. And I love what my previous speaker said, and actually Stephen, we can save millions our companies if we a product manager can do the product decision right. And it is not magic. I'm gonna reveal some tools to you how you can do that with systematically every time you're gonna make a decision. So what I cover with you first is a little bit insights where we are about in our product management. I have more than 25 years experience. I am a passionate product manager. I have my own company since more than 10 years. And I started as many other, like you, obviously, I came into product management. I was a little bit overwhelmed with what I have to do. I loved it, but nobody told me what I have to do. And when I started as a young female engineer and had my first meeting, I got all the dinosaurs who did not trust me. I did not get acceptance with all the research of data I got, and the nicest presentations, they didn't believe me. And what I want to show you today is really the systematic way that you can be a trusted and accepted product manager. So 20 years ago, I had these issues. And 2022, there are several studies from UK, US, and even Switzerland. They do global studies. And the result is still like that. So more than 90% of our product manager groups are having not enough time to be in the market. They are spending so much time on firefighting operational tasks that they cannot go outside. So a lot of issues is lack of resources. And whenever I read the studies, it comes up all the time. And that's what I hear every week in my master classes. Another thing is that more than 50% really don't know about the company strategy, or they say it's changing so often that I have to adapt my decisions all the time. But knowing the company strategy is really decisive to make our product decisions completely right. And then we have a lot of gut feeling. So I'm going to talk a lot about gut feeling quite a lot. And actually over 59% of PM decisions are based on our instinct. And all of that leads to this, that product managers feel they are not accepted as a product manager in their role. And that is a pity. And I really like to have you today about that. And it's a little interactive session. So whenever I ask you a question, you can answer in the chat. So today we have this picture. You see on the left side, the big green ball, that is the market data we have. It is very high. On the other side, you see this little ball. These are the gut feelings. We think that this is a little confusing. Let me explain it to you. So the market data we have is out there. It is available, but it is not used. It is neglected. That's why it has such a low weight. On the other side, you see gut feeling of 1 or 2 persons that are based, that are really, really heavy weight. So this is the imbalance that you see here. And the companies must have figured that out. There were so many product failures in over the last years, innovations that didn't come to market, delayed product launches. So this year, there was a study and they said $274 billion are invested in big data. So that's why companies would like to have product managers giving them the data that leads to trust their product decisions. But don't get me wrong, I like gut feeling. When I was, become a little bit over 30, I realized my gut feelings are really, really good. But they are only good when I have experience in something, because the instinct is really based on, hey, I made an experience. But product decision, innovations, we don't have experiences. That's why they are new. That's why they are innovative, and we cannot rely on our past. So write in the chat, who of you did already, oh, you cannot see my video?
Yes, I think for the last 5 minutes, your video is no more visible. Maybe you might want to stop the video and start the video again.
Okay.
We can see your presentation just fine.
You can see
Oh,
it.
now we can see you as well.
Yeah.
You were just kind of frozen for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's more about the presentation than about me.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess.
But now we can't see your presentation.
Yes, now you get I share it again.
Yeah.
So, okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes. And you, everything's perfect.
Wonderful. All right, good. Let's go on. So that's the picture that we have right now. And really, we would like to change it and make the imbalance. We have market data that weighs heavy and really helps us to make the best decision. I've spent 100 of hours to figure out what are the decision influencers if we don't have the data and that product manager does. I reflected myself over the last, when I was a young product manager, what I did, but I also asked my clients and my students. And yeah, it's really, it's like a flow. So if we don't have the data as a new product manager coming in a new company, or we are new in our role, then we don't know what they expect. So we deliver the best guess for data, and we might miss the data that they need. And because we don't have the time, or we don't take the time to research the customer, the companies, the trends out there, we have poor market information. The insights are missing. And then usually you all know that there's always time pressure. There's no time to be, a bit flexible. We have a lot of time pressure. And all this together leads us that we have tried to make an instinct decision, a gut feeling decision. But we also know with a gut feeling decision, if we go and pitch our product, our idea, there will be the dinosaur that I talked before who said, what is the data behind? So before we do that, we try to find data. We travel the net. We try to find reports, data that actually confirms what our gut feeling is. And I tell you, I go review business plans for companies, and I can tell you there's quite a lot of creativity that I see in there. So this is still about self-confirmation. So I try to find things that are my opinion, but there's another thing that we do. We try to find people who are in our company, colleagues, or even C-level, who are like-minded and who back up our opinion. All of this is still not the way to get market insights. And that's the way why the product decisions are not trusted. That's the reason why so many product innovations and launches fail. But there is a recipe against that. And before I show you the power of KuCo, the easy method that you can apply to make wonderful product decisions, I have a gift for you. So with the presentation afterwards or right now, I really give you the tools that make strong product decisions that are sustainable, that will not change all the time. So number one is the 5 C's of leverage management, create the best data foundation. I'm going to talk about it in a second. The second one is the secrets of world-class decision makers. So what do you choose? Make the right decision. And last one, if you have done your business plan, give it a check. And those 3 you get with the code, just scan it and you get access to all 3 tools. So if you really would like to ensure that your next several 100,000, 5 million, 10 million investment is based on the right decision, get those tools. If you would like to have a efficient decision maker in the whole development process from the product strategy, development, and marketing, get your tools. All free for us. And as a leader from many teams, and if I go to new customers, I realized it's always very beneficial to tell the people why they should do something. And there was a study last year, what are the business leaders' pains? And they researched some younger, small companies and bigger companies in the US, and the fears are the missing opportunities. We as product managers get hired, actually, right? We get hired to do what? The best products and innovations, to find new opportunities. And if we have that, right, then we can overcome this missing opportunities, because what is the flow here? If the companies cannot find new innovations, that are actually more than 70% are from growth, are based on innovation. So if they miss opportunities, they miss sales, right? If another fear that they have, it's probably not the fear.
عم تحكي حطيتها تقريبا على واطي ماكسيموم، شلت لها صوتها على السبيكر تبعي، حطيت ميوت لها، بس انا ميوتد اكيد وما مش راح.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, I stopped because I heard somebody else talking. So the business leaders' pains, the second one is they fear, and they feared by experience, a long development. A long development is very costly. And if they don't have the right opportunity, they have a longer development time and cost, they make low profit. And, you know, if they make low profit, they cannot they cannot pay our salaries, they cannot invest in new innovations. So that's why we need to have the right decisions very quickly. And now it's really time to tell you about the QQQ power tools. So the power of QQQ will give you clarity, and it will give you clarity on 3 things. And this is the customer, the company, and the context. This is the basis, the foundation that you need for your product decisions, that help you to make the strategy, that helps your colleague in the development to make the right decision, and also in the marketing itself. Everything speeds it up. So with this market data, you actually are able to reduce your development process up to 60%, and also raise the profit by 30%. I've worked with a lot of customers who really got that, internationally, US, and also in Europe. And last May, the first time we were able to travel again, I was in Germany, because the head of a company, they just came together, they bought a company, they had a young team, and the boss wanted to have them a system that helps them this long development to shorten it. So I trained them on the customer interviews, as my previous speaker said over here, very important how to do that. So I trained them, and on the second day, the boss asked him, hey, his team, how many interviews are you going to do? And in the next 6 months? And one said, 2. What means 2 in 6 months? So he got a little bit furious, and I actually wanted to go out of the room. But I realized that this person, Martin, was a young engineer, was just afraid of doing it. Who of you were also afraid doing the first customer interviews? I was afraid. Nobody told me, and I did my best. And over the time, I involved the techniques, or I created the techniques that I'm doing today. But the first ones, I was pretty afraid of it. So now I'm training my customers really how to ask the right and relevant question to get the results of the interviews that help us over the long development cycle, product life cycle. So the first one you get with the right amount of not the right amount, but the right questions is you get the persona insights that we heard before. You get to know the problem and the situation. And then you know if you have this problem situation, you have interviewed many people, you did a survey, you are absolute sure about the requirements and also the priorities. Having the requirements prioritized in the right order takes usually weeks of discussion. We can get rid of it if we do those interview constantly. And we get insights about the 4 Ps, the positioning, the prices. We can derive all the strategy from the things that we heard and asked precisely to our customer. And the whole marketing communication and sales trends, you know, it takes time. It's not only the technology development, also marketing and sales is a big task, and we can spend millions on that, hundreds of thousands, go into marketing, and we can reduce it. We can use the time and also the money. This is the magic about the interviews if we do it the right way. It is mentioned, but I tell you, it's not rocket science. Everyone can learn it. It is a very easy system. But this is the data that you need to make good product decisions throughout the product lifecycle. So the second goal of the KUKOKO is the context deep dive. Please write in the chat who of you is doing research, market research next to the customer.
When you say next to the customer, what do you mean by that?
Yes, that's what I real right now. So next to the customer is, first of all, the competition. We need to understand what are they doing, what are they not doing to differentiate us from competition, if you have competition, right? Then we need to do the pest analysis, so the political, ecological, social, and political, economic, social, and technology, and see what's going on right now. What do we have to address to match the market situation? And thirdly, very important, what are the next trends when we are looking 3-5 years ahead, and to address it, to be innovative, right? To invent something that we can sell. So all of them, if we do our job and do our homework and get the time to do this context deep dive, this will actually prevent us from having this hundreds of change requests, this last minute changes that we usually face during our development. So who of you is doing this wonderful task?
Hopefully everybody.
Yeah, someone you're next to the customer, that's hard. Yeah, right. But I have a recipe for you how you can find time for that, because I know lack of resources is hard. I have some wonderful stuff for you at the end. So number 3 of the KUKOKO method is the company. And here I would like to share with you a little anecdote that I had. I was one of my colleagues, Andrea, she actually studied with me, and she reached out to me. She became a CEO of a smaller company. They existed 120 years, and they wanted a change. And she wanted to make sure that everyone in the company understands the direction she is going to. So in her first team meeting, she made sure that everyone understands this. 116, 160. Very easy to read. And what it means is we want to be, again, number 1 in 2016, that's a while ago, and they want to have a 160 million profit. So this was the direction that they should go to. And every single project they did was measured against that. Can we reach it? Will it benefit our strategy? So she made sure that within the company, on the boards, in the magazine, in the meetings, they talk about the vision, the mission, the strategy, and competence. Right? So this is very important. And it is always, for me, very astonishing that my clients, or maybe the students that I have in my classes, that they tell me they don't know about the strategy. So then I asked them, how can they make a product, really nice product strategy? And then they say, yeah, we have to change it over and over again. So having 6, 9, 12 months, even 15 months, come up with a product strategy is not unusual for a tech company. And that's a lot of waste on time. So I really encourage my student then, it is not dumb to ask a question. It shows you that you are smart if you reach out to your board and ask them, what is your vision, mission, strategy, and competence, and work on it. This actually shows you care and you are highly professional. And then this is a lot of tasks. Who agrees? Whew, it sounds, my God, that I should all of this do next to my operational tasks. Yeah, it is our job, right? So here are 4 techniques that I give you, and these are the 4 techniques that always work. If you apply one of them, you will be able to save easily 2 hours per week to work on the task that really allows you to make this cool work, right? And I tell you, the first one of the 4 is minimize interruptions. Interruptions means like bing, 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 private notes, alerts, alerts that we see frequently. We are brain worker. We are heavy brain worker, right? So every time you got interrupted in your train of thought, right? Train of thought, you need to find back into again. And I tell you, it tells from statistics 3 times longer to find back. So this we can actually minimize. You can have, private conversations or emails and that are not out of business, or alerts, just, at the beginning or in your break or in the evening, but not during the day. Then focus on your important tasks. I know we are all humans. We love to do the work that we like, that we are good at it, but sometimes they are not really what we have signed up for and that the company is paying for us, right? So if we really want to speed up and get the time, we should focus on what is important for your role. And here comes the next tricky thing. A lot of my clients come to me and said, I don't know what my role is. So make sure you know it and you get the clarity on that as well, so that you can focus on that. And then say no. Saying no. We are not nurses, but we all want to help. And there are some recipes that really work well. It doesn't sound nice to say no, but it is healthy for your time. So the first thing is there are a lot of information out there in our company. And there are a lot of people who come to us as product manager because we have so many connection points. We know quite a lot, and they come to us just to ask for information. And I call them, they're a little bit too lazy to search for themselves. Next time somebody comes to you or writes an email, where can I find it? Let them know that they get it in the next 2 days. I tell you the truth, 80% will never come back. And they get used to it, right? So say also no to those meetings that are not efficient, that don't have an agenda, where you cannot contribute. You can leave in the time you are not needed, you don't get any information, leave it. 30, 40%, even more, we are spending meetings, and some of them are great and efficient and wonderful, and we need them, and some of them are not. So if you have look at it, so maybe you can also reduce 5-6 hours a week just by that. And the next one is what I call drift. Do it right the first time. I had a company that came to me and said, you know what, there are so many departments that are complaining about, it was a technical department, technical writing department, that they are not delivering their tasks. So we had to look at it. And it was not the fault of these people. It was the fault of the ones who gave actually work to them. So they give them the wrong information, not complete information, and also after a certain deadline. So do it right the first time actually helps to reduce all these emails, discussion, and rework back and forth for weeks for both sides. So if you get something, check if you have everything. If not, send it back. If you deliver something to one of your 12 different departments that we are usually working as a product manager with, make sure do it right the first time. Or the other question is, when you're not doing it right the first time, when you're gonna to do it. There's never enough time. So do it right the first time. It will save you a lot of time. And so if you use one of them, I promise you, I've seen it several times, 2 hours, 3 hours, and minimum that you can win to get the time to make your decisions right the first time, because you have the market data that your company needs from that are based the foundation for your product decisions. And now I finished with my presentation, and it's up to you. Ask some questions, and I would like really to inspire you. Use your own cuckoo power, like the brothers right here in North Carolina, or there in North Carolina. Use the first time the own power. You have it in your hand. You have the recipe. You get the free sheets, and you can use the cuckoo power. And I promise you, the first time you do it, you get a faster decision-making process and much more reliable. You will see less changes, more time, more fun.
Excellent. Hopefully we have a lot of questions. So,
We have a lot of time.
yeah, we got a lot of time. We've got 10 minutes almost.
Wow. Okay.
So you know what? You might want to put up your barcode or your QR code again so people can, or even put the link in the chat.
Oops. Wait. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And then everybody can get your tools. And then, yeah, so I have some experience with this as well. I had very interesting, I guess it was the CEO of the company. Basically, he recognized that the product management team had become a glorified, sales support group. And so there was no strategic planning going on. And he literally said, these guys are no longer answering any questions for the sales team. And it was like that for like 6 months. And oh my God, it was an absolute uproar with the sales team because they had no one to go to get their answers. And it was, you need to carve that space out in order to focus on what is going to drive the company forward for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, rather than answering a salesman's question on what's the price of the doohickey that goes on the product, and so I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, there are so many, let's say, optimization points, what we can do to get more time, actually really to have the time to do all the research. So we got a question over here. What do you define as the world-class decision maker? I assume this was the most experienced, but what is your opinion? The world-class decision maker makes a product decision, right? So it means, and I do not have to amend what I present 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I do it once and get a sign off right away. So that is what I call the world-class decision maker. Does it answer your question, George? You said, okay, yes. Then we have Mark. We live in a culture of interruption, as Gardner calls it. How do you get clients to not give in to the need to respond to interruption as you are trying to engage them? If not, how do you work around those interruptions to get meaningful insights? Mark, I'm actually not sure what you mean. Can you please unmute yourself and ask me this verbally?
Yeah, you'd spoken about trying to get people to focus and not give into interruptions is one of the, I've been in a number of sessions where you're trying to do that with people, especially around usability of a product, the focus group, and everybody's looking at their phone, every 5 seconds, people are, and you're thinking, maybe this is valuable information, because if this is how they spend their day, then maybe you're getting better usability information, realizing that every 5 minutes they're going to their phone or some of their messaging client or something like that. How do you, what strategies have you used to try to make sure you can get them really to engage you? You can stop being interrupted, but you can't do that if you're trying to gather meaningful information from any kind of client or prospective product buyer or user.
So if I go to a client and talk to them, they usually don't have their phone with me. Time is precious, right? When I talked about the people here, the product manager who don't have the time, so there are always 2 options, right? They come into my classes, they pay, for the training, and if they are daddling and working on their phone, their tablet or whatever, they don't get the message, they don't get the certification, they don't get the skills that they are looking for. That's one thing. And there is, in my classes, they are not doing it. They're even not doing emails because they don't have time for it. That's one thing. If I am clients and doing it on, do it virtually and on time, I actually set up the rules. It always sounds, let's say, pretty German or a pretty project management like, but it helps to show, hey, we are not using phones. We will have a break for 10-15 minutes every 45, every 1.5 hours. There is a time you can do. And I always tell them, even we are product manager, and very, very important, we are not sitting at the red button that saves us the world. And actually that helps. And it helps to tell them you have a break where you all can do that.
Yeah, I understand what people are paying to come to the class. It's more if you try to take that same concept and use it when you're trying to then go meet with people and gather information from them. That's where it becomes harder, because they're not paying. They're doing you kind of a favor in their mindset. So it's you can't be too you can't be too aggressive about pushing that point with them, right?
Yeah, but actually I didn't have that. So because I do not go to the people that are not aware that I need their time, right? So they want to have the best product. They want me to understand them. And I didn't have a person who was reacting to it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
No,
thank you.
But that's a mutual, right? They give me the time. They want to have better products.
Yeah.
And no, that was.
Yeah, I was trying to work it more from my end, the experiences I run into where it's, I'm old enough that I remember not having these and not having other messaging clients and just actually sitting and talking to people, engaging them. But
yeah,
it's a different world now. Okay, thank you.
Generational thing. I have a lot of topics around that. There are some more questions. Thank you very much.
I really love this question. If we could address this one, I would really love to hear your response. We're being told that to get our information through the sales force instead of speaking directly with our customers. How do you change this mindset?
I will see, first of all, analyze what's not going well in your decision-making process in terms of product strategy, development, and also marketing. If you see you have delays, changes, more cost than you want to, I would address this. And I would always say, go back to the customer, go first to the customer, find out what they want, and not in Salesforce, because Salesforce gathers only the data that you ask them to gather it. You cannot dive deeper into the mind of the customer. You cannot ask behind the questions, right? So Salesforce give you only a certain amount of answers, but
yeah, so if I may clarify there, yeah, so we are being told by our leadership to, hey, the salespeople are already talking to them. I don't want to randomize our customers. I don't want to waste their time. I don't want you to talk to them. In all my previous roles, I always had direct access to the customer. And so I was just wondering if you have any tricks.
Yeah, my trick is, first of all, product go with the product, with the sales team, if you can do that. Sometimes it is an obstacle. The sales team have a very long you say, high standing in the company, and they don't want product managers to do their job and to see what probably customers tell about them. There's a lot of fear behind it, right? And the bond between the C-level and sales is usually very good. So I explain them what product manager gets out of an interview, which is totally different than sales. The sales should sell, that's it, they should sell, but they are not understanding the whole customer journey process from marketing manager. Do I find the homepage or not? So usually when the product is not good, then it's a problem of the PM, right? And not the salesman. If it's good, yeah, sales is great, right? So what we do is let them know, usually if the product is not good, we try to work on features, technology. And this is the competition has it, we have to do it. It could be sales is not good, customer support was not reachable, landing page didn't work, manual was not written, I couldn't contact the customer service, not 24 hours, they didn't speak my language. There are so many things, but this is what PM finds out and not customer sales. So that's what I try to explain, and I always say, encourage them, let me try it. Let me do several interviews. It doesn't cost that much. And I show you the difference of results. And usually you get that.
That's good. All right, we got to move on. So thank you so much. We appreciate the presentation. It was very good. And everybody put your silent clap on.